here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you to just give me your name and where you're from. Go ahead, Juliana.
Hi everyone, I'm Juliana Heng from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Hello, hello Juliana.
Hi.
Welcome, dear.
Thank you so much. I do stand-up comedy and I'm also an aspiring actor. So I hope that by learning more Shakespeare texts instead of learning alone, which can be quite challenging, we learn together, we read it together and it's much more fun. Yeah.
Good.
Well,
Gelda, if I can ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
guys, it's a great honor to meet you again. Thank you so very much for your generous invitation, dear Ricky.
Thank you so much. Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Jeff. I live in Toronto, Canada, but I'm currently in Nashville, zooming from Francesca's house. I'm here until Monday. I'm just doing poetry features and open mics and whatever sightseeing I can see. I'm also a novelist, and I've been a journalist in the past. And yeah, look for my novel Hate Story on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Thank you so very much. Lesley, if I may ask you, my dear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a painter, poet, used to be a modern dancer. I am a dual citizen, US, UK, and have lived many years in Mexico. And I'm sitting here in Margate, Kent, UK, with the beautiful beach and sky to look at.
Thank you so much. My brother Ray.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ray DelGreco. I am in Florida, USA. And I guess I have been an actor. I am currently a video actor, landscaper, and musician.
Wonderful. Let us begin Act 5 of Shakespeare's Tempest. This is an experimental theater piece. When I call it Bill's Back at the Globe, because we have global readers here coming together to have some fun with the marvelous language and thoughts of the bard himself. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, Act 5, Scene 1, before the cell of Prospero. Enter Prospero in his magic robes and Ariel.
Now does my project gather to a head. My charms crack not, my spirits obey, and time goes up right with his carriage. How's the day?
On the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work should cease.
I did say so. When first I raised the tempest, say, my spirit, how fares the king and his followers?
Confined together in the same fashion as you gave in charge, just as you left them, all prisoners, sir, in the lime grove which weather fence your cell. They cannot budge till your release. The king, his brother, and yours abide all three distracted and the remaining mourning over them, brimful of sorrow and dismay, but chiefly him that you term, sir, the good old Lord Gonzalo. His tears run down his beard like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. Your charms so strongly work that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender.
Dost thou think so, spirit?
My words, sir, will I human.
And mine shall, hast thou which art but air, a touch, a feeling of their affections, and shall not myself, one of their kind, that relish all as sharply, passion as they, be kindlier moved than thou art? Though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason against my fury do I take part. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. They being penitent, the sole drift of my purpose doth extend not a frown further. Go release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves.
I will fetch them, sir.
Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes, and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune and do fly him. When he comes back, you demi-puppets that by moonshine do the green sour ringlets make, whereof that you not bites, and you, whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms, that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the multinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vault, set roaring war to the dread rattling thunder, have I given fire, and rifted love's stout oak. With his own bolt the strong based promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers, oped and led them forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I here adjure, and when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, to work mine end upon their senses, that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book. A solemn.
Re-enter Ariel after him, Alonso with a frantic gesture, attended by Gonzalo, Sebastian, and Antonio in like manner, attended by Adrienne and Francisco. They all enter the circle which Prospero hath made, and there stand charmed, which Prospero observed, speaking.
A solemn air, and the best comforter to an unsettled fancy. Cure thy brains, now useless, boiled within thy skull. There stand, for you are spell stopped. Holy Gonzalo, honorable man, mine eyes, even sociable to the show of thine, fall fellowly drops. The charm dissolves space, and as the morning steals upon the night, melting the darkness, so their rising senses begin to chase the ignorant fumes thy mantle, their clearer vision. O good Gonzalo, my true preserver and a loyal sir, to him you followest. I will pay thy graces home both in word and deed, most cruelly. Didst thou, Alonso, use me and my daughter? Thy brother was a furtherer in the act. Thou art pinched for now, Sebastian. Flesh and blood, you, brother mine, that entertained ambition, expelled remorse and nature, whom with Sebastian, whose inward pinches therefore are most strong, would here have killed your king. I do forgive thee, unnatural though thou art. Their understanding begins to swell, and the approaching tide will shortly fill the reasonable shore that now lie foul and muddy. Not one of them that yet looks on me, or would know me, Ariel. Fetch me the hat and rapier in my cell. I will discase me and myself present, as I was sometime Milan. Quickly, spirit, thou shalt ere long be free.
Ariel enters, singing, and helps to attire Prospero.
Where the bee sucks, there suck I. In a cowslip bell I lie. There I couch when owls do cry. On the bat's back do I fly. After summer merrily, merrily, merrily shall I live now under the blossom that hangs on the bough.
Why, that's my dainty Ariel. I shall miss thee, but yet thou shalt have freedom. So. To the king's ship, invisible as thou art. There shalt thou find the mariners asleep under the hatches, the master and the boatswain, being awake, enforce them to this place. And presently, I prithee,
I drink the air before me and return, or ear your pulse twice beat.
All torment, trouble, wonder, and amazement inhabits here. Some heavenly power guide us out of this fearful country.
behold, Sir King, the wronged Duke of Milan, Prospero, For more assurance that a living prince does now speak to thee, I embrace thy body, and to thee and thy company I bid a hearty welcome.
Hug, 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 hug. Where'er thou be'st here or no, or some enchanted trifle to abuse me, as late I have been, I not know. Thy pulse beats as of flesh and blood, and since I saw thee, the affliction of my mind amends, with which I fear a madness held me. This must crave, and if this be at all, a most strange story. Thy dukedom I resign, and do entreat thou pardon me my wrongs. But how should Prospero be living, and be here?
First, noble friend, let me embrace thine age, whose honor cannot be measured or confined.
Hug, 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 hug. Whether this be or be not, I'll not swear.
Yet do yet taste some subtleties of the isle that will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends all. But you, my brace of lords, were I so minded, I here could pluck his highness frown upon you and justify you traitors. At this time, I will tell no tales.
The devil speaks in him.
No, for you, most wicked sir, whom to call brother would even infect my mouth. I do forgive thy rankest fault, all of them, and require my dukedom of thee, which perforce I know thou must restore.
If thou be'st Prospero, give us particulars of thy preservation, how thou hast met us here, whom 3 hours since were wrecked upon this shore, where I have lost, how sharp the point of this remembrance is, my dear son Ferdinand.
I am woe forth, sir.
Irreparable is the loss, and patience says it is past her cure.
I rather think you have not sought her help, of whose soft grace for the like loss I have her sovereign aid, and rest myself content.
You the like loss?
As great to me as late, and supportable. To make the dear loss, have I means much weaker than you may call to comfort you, for I have lost my daughter.
A daughter? Oh heavens, that they were living both in Naples, the king and queen there. That they were, I wish myself were mudded in that oozy bed where my son lies. When did you lose your daughter?
In this last tempest, I perceive these lords at this encounter do so much admire that they devour their reason and scarce think their eyes do offices of truth. These words are natural breath. But howsoever you have been jostled from your senses, know for certain that I am Prospero, and that very Duke, which was thrust forth of Milan, who most strangely upon this shore where you were wrecked has landed to be the Lord on it. No more yet of this, for 'tis a chronicle of day by day. Not a relation for a breakfast, nor befitting this first meeting. Welcome, sir. This cell's my court. Here have I few attendants and subjects, none abroad. Pray you look in. My dukedom, since you have given me again, I will requite you with as good a thing. At least bring forth a wonder to content me as much as me, my dukedom.
No, you play me false.
No, my dearest love, I would not for the world.
Yes, for a score of kingdoms you should wrangle, and I would call it fair play.
If this prove a vision of the island, one dear son, oh,
No, my dearest love, I would not for the world.
Sweet Lord, you play me false.
No, no, my dearest love, I would not for the world.
Yes, for a score of kingdoms you should wrangle, and I would call it fair play.
If this prove a vision of the island, one dear son, shall I twice lose?
A most high miracle.
though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I have cursed them without cause.
Now, all the blessings of a glad father compass thee now, thee about. Arise and see how thou comest here.
Oh, wonder, how many goodly creatures are there here? How beauteous mankind is. oh brave new world that has such people in it.
Is new to thee.
What is this maid with whom thou wast at play? Your eldest acquaintance cannot be 3 hours. Is she the goddess that had severed us and brought us thus together?
Sir, she is mortal, but by immortal providence, she is mine. I choose her when I could not ask my father for his advice, nor thought I had one. She is daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I have heard renown, but never saw before, of whom I have received a second life and second father. This lady makes him to me.
I am hers, but oh, how oddly will it sound that I must ask my child forgiveness?
There, sir, stop. Let us not burden our remembrance with a heaviness that's gone.
I have inly wept, or should have spoke ere this. Look down, you gods, and on this couple drop a blessed crown, for it is you that have chalked forth the way which brought us hither.
I say, amen, Gonzalo.
Was Milan thrust from Milan, that his issue should become kings of Naples? Oh, rejoice beyond a common joy, and set it down with gold on lasting pillars. In one voyage did Claribel her husband find at Tunis, and Ferdinand, her brother, found a wife where he himself was lost. Prospero his dukedom in a poor isle, and all of us ourselves when no man was his own.
Give me your hands. Let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart, that doth not wish you joy.
Be it so. Amen.
Re-enter Ariel with master and boatswain, amazedly following.
Oh, look, sir, look, sir. Here is more of us. I prophesied if a gallows were on land, this fellow could not drown. Now, blasphemy, that swear'st grace o'er board, not an oath on shore? Hast thou no mouth by land? What is the news?
Tim, why don't you take boatswain?
Boatswain, the best news is that we have safely found our king and company. The next, our ship, which but 3 glasses since we gave out split, is tight and bravely rigged as when we first put to sea.
Sir, all this service have I done since I went.
My tricksy spirit,
These are not natural events. They strengthen from strange to stranger. Say, how came you hither?
If I did think, sir, I were well awake, I'd strive to tell you. We were dead of sleep, and how we know not, all clapped under hatches, where but even now, with strange and several noises of roaring, shrieking, howling, jingling chains, and more diversity of sounds, all horrible, we were awaked, straightway at liberty, where we in all our trim freshly beheld our royal, good and gallant ship, a master capering to eye her, on a trice, so please you, even in a dream, were we divided from them and were brought moping hither.
Wasn't well done?
bravely, my diligence, thou shalt be free.
This is a strange amaze as e'er men trod, and there is in this business more than nature, which ever conduct of. Some oracle must rectify our knowledge.
Sir, my liege, do not infest your mind with beating on the strangeness of this business. At picked leisure, which shall be shortly, single I'll resolve you, which to you shall seem probable of every these happened accidents, till when be cheerful and think of each thing well. Come hither, spirit, set Caliban and his companions free. Untie the spell. How fares, my gracious sir? There are yet missing of your company some few odd lads that you remember not.
Re-enter Ariel driving in Caliban, Stefano, Trinculo in their stolen apparel.
My Stefano?
Sure.
Yes. Every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care for himself, for all is but fortune. Coraggio,
bully monster, Correggio. If these be true spies which I wear in my head, here's a goodly sight.
Oh, Setebos, these be brave spirits indeed. How fine my master is. I am afraid he will chastise me.
Ha ha! What things are these, my lord Antonio? Will money buy them?
Very like. One of them is a plain fish, and no doubt marketable.
Mark but the badges of these men, my lord. Then say if they be true. This misshapen knave, his mother was a witch, and one so strong that could control the moon, make flows and ebbs, and deal in her command without her power. These three have robbed me. And this demi-devil, for he's a bastard one, had plotted with them to take my life. Two of these fellows you must know and own. This thing of darkness, I acknowledge mine.
I shall be pinched to death.
Is not this Stefano, my drunken butler?
He is drunk now. Where had he wine?
And Trinculo is reeling ripe. Where should he find his grand liquor that hath gilded him? How comest thou in this pickle?
I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last that I fear me will never out of my bones. I shall not fear fly blowing.
Why, how now, Stefano?
Oh, touch me not. I'm not Stefano, but a cramp.
You'd be king of the isle, sir?
I should have been a sore one then.
This as strange a thing as e'er I looked on.
He is as disproportioned in his manners as in his shape. Go, sirrah, to my cell. Take with you your companions. As you look to have my pardon, trim it handsomely.
Aye, that I will. And I'll be wise hereafter and seek for grace. What a thrice double ass was I to take this drunkard for a god and worship this dull fool.
Sir, I invite your highness and your train to my private cell.
Go to.
I'll take your rest. For this one night, part of it I'll waste with such discourse as I not doubt shall make it quick go away. The story of my life and the particular accidents gone by since I came to this isle, and in the morn I'll bring you to your ship, and so to Naples, where I have hoped to see the nuptial of these dear beloved solemnized, and thence retire me to my Milan, where every third thought shall be my grave.
I long to hear the story of your life, which must stick the ear strangely.
I'll deliver all, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sail so expeditious that shall catch your royal fleet far off. My aerial chick, that is thy charge, then to the elements. Be free and fare thou well. Please you, draw near.
Now, my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have, mine own, which is most faint. Now, 'tis true, I must be here confined by you or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardoned the deceiver dwell in this fair island by your spell, but release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now, I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant. My ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer. What pierces so that it assaults mercy itself, and frees all faults. As you from crimes would pardon be, let your indulgence set me free. Thank you, my friends. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We've got Juliana, and we've got Jeff and Gelda and Lesley and Ray and Tim and Finn and Rhoda. My goodness, you've done so well. You know, if someone said, hey, let's do a cold read of Shakespeare, most people would go, what are you, crazy? But you wonderfully
Happy to
mad
meet you
people.
all.
Thank
And
you.
an
Thank
opportunity. Wow.
Thank you, Richard, for organizing.
My great honor, my friend, to be here with you. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day, night, morning, etc.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.